talk about Vlookup function. So in this example, I have a payroll worksheet, and our main objective is to define the description of each given department. On the other side, we need to display the tax percentage based on the starting salary. So how do we use VLOOKUP? First, let us define the lookup tables. Let me click on the lookup tables worksheet. This is where we can check the resources for VLOOKUP for data comparison. Let me highlight this data of department from B2 to C7 and name this as D table. D table on the name box. D table stands for department table. Next, let me highlight the next table for tax percentage. That is cell F2 to G7. Let's name this as S table, short for salary table. Press enter. Now, VLOOKUP actually works in a column index manner. So for the D table, the column 1 is department, column 2 is description, while for the S table, column 1 is starting salary, column 2 is tax percentage. That is where we can get the data. Going back to database, let's try to start with VLOOKUP function. Okay, let me zoom in. In cell F7, I need to display the description of the given department. So how do we do that? Let me type in equal VLOOKUP, open parentheses. VLOOKUP contains 4 syntax. The first syntax is the lookup value. What do you mean by lookup value? Lookup value is the cell reference of this formula. That is the dependent cell of the VLOOKUP. Lookup value defines the condition or the data that we want to compare. Comma, the next syntax is the table array. If you have a given data E7, which is admin, where do you want to compare that data? In our case, we can compare that data in cell or table entitled the table. Third syntax is the column index number. For the column index number, we have 2 options, column 1 and column 2. That's the column number of the table given. Column number 1 means department. Column number 2 is description. If I need to look up description, let me type here column number 2. Comma, the last syntax is range lookup. Range lookup, we can only type 1 or 0. We are using 1 if we need approximate match. We are using 0 if we need exact match. 1 is also equivalent to true. 0 is also equivalent to false. So if I need to get the exact match of admin in that D table, simply I need to type here 0, close parenthesis, press enter. Now, VLOOKUP will get the exact description. Let me use double click here to autofill for all the departments given. You can double check this one by going back to your lookup tables worksheet. Next. All right. The next thing that we need to do, we need to define the tax percentage based on the given starting salary. And in order for us to do that, again, we can use equal VLOOKUP, open parenthesis. Lookup value here is the value of the starting salary, I7, comma, where do you want to compare that data? I want to compare that data in S table. All right. So for table, S table, we have 2 columns as well. The first column is the salary range. The second column is the tax percentage. If I need to look up the tax percentage, all I need to do is to type number 2, comma. The last syntax is range lookup. You can only type 1 or 0 in the last syntax. However, if I type here 0 and add close parentheses, when I pressed enter, as you can see, it will always define an error message. Why? Because when you type 0, we're looking at the exact match of the data. It looks at the value of 5,700 inside the lookup table as table. However, we don't have any 5,700 here. If I need to define it based on the tax percentage, instead of typing 0, let me type number 1 for approximate match, or what we call range of data. So when I press enter here and then autofill, Excel will automatically get the percentage value, all right, of the tax percentage based on the given salary. All right, so what happened is, going back to lookup tables, all right, when you type number 1, Excel created the range already. So this 8% is from the range of 1 to 4,000. You don't need to type here 1 to 4,000 like this, right? Okay, so just type number 1. That will do. Sorry, let me change the format. All right. The limit of the first line on this table is based on the starting point of the next line, which is 4,001, 10%. So that means this data is good only for 1 to 4,000 range. That's 8%. This one is 4,001 to 5,000, 5,001 to 6,000, 6,001 to 7,000, and this one, 7,001 and above, is equivalent to 16%. So you don't need to add less than or greater than value or logical symbol to compare that data. You just need a table like this one for data comparison. All right, so that's your Vlookup function with the use of exact match value and also with the use of approximate match value.